we go. Well, it's only been a few days since I did that scalp and verticut and thinning of that front section, but I thought you'd probably want an update on what I'm seeing so far, so let's go take a look. But I'll put this up on the screen here, the initial photo that I took that day that I did that renovation work. So we've gotten exactly what we needed since then, which was rain to wash all that sand down into there and make sure that it pushed its way down into the canopy, and it's definitely done that. But I also did an application of liquid fertilizer. As I mentioned, I used the 16-4-8 this time on this area. And with all that rain and the fertilizer on there, it's starting to bounce back really quickly and looking good already. So this is the key though, I think, is to make sure that when you're not going to do something at maybe the most ideal time of year, to watch that weather forecast, because I was looking ahead, seeing some rain in the forecast and seeing that it was supposed to be in the 70s. If it had happened to be about 90 or what looks like it's coming in about a week or so, then I probably would have thought differently about that and just dealt with it in the early fall. I'm happy with what it looks like so far, but there's definitely the summer heat coming. We've had a really nice June so far, and I knew that eventually it's going to have to turn to more of our summer temperatures, and unfortunately it's not going to be low 80s. It looks like mid 90s are coming and warm temperatures at night. So definitely here you're going to have to start thinking about preparing for watching for disease and things like that, because with this fairly mild spring that we've been having in terms of temperatures, the grass hasn't had that major stress for more than a couple days at a time. And now here in our climate, as it gets humid during the summer and you have those overnight lows that don't get down there anymore to a cooler level, I'm seeing some mid 70s coming for lows, then definitely you're gonna have to watch out for some things starting to pop disease-wise. I did see a bit of disease in a few spots. It looked like maybe the start of some brown patch, but I haven't really done anything with that because there's been raining about 6 inches this week, and that's not a good scenario for fungus, but just haven't really been able to get out and do a whole lot. So I'm just gonna keep a close eye on that here in the next week or so. So if you'll remember over here, this is the area that I'm testing cutting this fescue slightly lower. It does need a mow. As I said, it's been raining like crazy, so I need to come out and give this a mow. But this is also my test strip for the real mowing of this tall fescue, and so far, as I've talked about, the texture is not as good or as thin, obviously, as Kentucky bluegrass or ryegrass, and I didn't plant this specifically to be real mowed, so I probably could have gone slightly heavier on my rate and maybe I could get a tighter look to it. Aside from that texture look that still looks like fescue, it has been getting thicker and starting to seemingly spread a bit sideways instead of just going up. So I think I am training it a bit. No issues with survivability at this point, but we haven't gotten into the major heat yet. So I'll keep you updated on this throughout the summer. I'm just gonna keep trying. As I go up to real mow the rest of this, I just do one strip through here. I thought it would just be something to show, as I know a lot of you are trying different experiments with height of cut and all of that stuff. This gives me an idea here to see this with my own eyes as to what it looks like cut low and how much it's going to deal with the heat. And this is a full sun area. Gets all of the afternoon sun here by my shed, so it's gonna be the ultimate test of how much it can handle. And the issue for me is gonna be I don't have any irrigation in this section, so I will have to keep an eye on this with watering by hand or a sprinkler over here. You'll also see this little leafy plant here. So this is nutsedge, and I'm starting to see some nutsedge show up. I'm not really surprised by that considering the wet conditions. It really likes those cooler, wet conditions, and this is about the time when I will typically start to see it popping up. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this as well and see how much I have widespread areas of it coming into the yard, if I'm gonna need to do a spray or if I can target just some spots here and there. Sedge hammer or a similar product, I believe there's Pro Sedge is the generic version that I have, will take care of these usually pretty easily. After that light sand top dressing, all that got worked in. It was very light anyway, but with that rain, that all got worked into the canopy. Everything looks good. There's one thing over here that I want to show you that I get a lot of questions on. That would be mushrooms in the lawn, and again, a lot of this all comes back to what's happening with our conditions here of very, very wet weather. Now, a lot of times when that happens continually, you're going to see some mushrooms show up, and that's not really an issue or anything that I deal with in terms of what to do about them. I just continue to mow them off, but it's a good sign that you have some organic matter down in the soil, and there's nothing wrong with that. In those cooler, wet conditions, a lot of times these are going to show up, and there's really no problem with that. You don't have to do anything or spray anything, just keep mowing, and hopefully things dry out a bit coming up and you won't see this as much popping up. So that's the stuff that I'm seeing at home, but now let's talk about some of the challenges that I'm having out at Westbury. So first of all, we pretty much had a monsoon out there. I happened to be out there to go check on how much rain we had, check on a few things from the night before, and I got there, checked the rain gauge, and we had 1.5 inches of rain, and it was starting to look like it was going to rain again, and it just completely dumped on us for about 45 minutes. Went and checked the rain gauge after this. It was close to 2 inches in about 45 minutes. So the ground could not handle any more at that point, and I started to watch this river form in front of me. To be honest with you, this is exactly how the shaping was done with our driveway, so that this was supposed to happen this way, where the water sheds off of the driveway and comes down through this lower area. But right now it's probably not great though that our shipping container is right in this waterway. So there will be some tiling or drains or something eventually if we decide to keep all of the current stuff where it is. That will all be done in good time, but it hasn't been a major problem. It's just been when we get a really heavy storm that it is wet in that section for a while. But it did flow through that ryegrass just fine and made it out to the ditch as it was supposed to do. Even when I seeded that ryegrass, I told you the middle section here is likely going to be where some of this grass doesn't survive long term, and I'll just mow on each side of it, maybe put some sort of rain garden in that middle section. But honestly, grass is more resilient than you think, even after it gets flooded. So I went out there the next day and I tried to let those wood chips dry out, and I forgot my backpack blower, but the next time I go out, I will backpack blow this as well and get as many of those wood chips off of there as I can. This was my spring seeding project out here, and this is 100% ryegrass. This is the Knorr ryegrass that I used here. It's really starting to come into its own now, as we talked about in previous videos. I do have some grassy weeds in here and some things that I need to take care of long term, but for this only being, I think it's probably 5 or 6 weeks old now, starting to move into the next phase where it's not really young grass, but it starts to look like more of a lawn. So long term, we're going to see how I'm going to deal with some of those grassy weeds and what needs to be done, but so far for the spring seeding this year, it's looking good. The other thing I want to show you on the plots that I've been struggling with, I wasn't thinking about this too much, how much of a slope there is in some of these plot areas, and because of these monsoons that we've had, I think that the actual granular fertilizer has moved and shifted towards the edges of these plots more than I thought it did. So also I've been using this other spreader from time to time, and although I thought I was getting good coverage with Grower G, I think it was definitely putting down a heavier dose in the middle, and just because the size of these plots has been difficult to get good even coverage, and make sure I'm not throwing too much fertilizer into those other areas that are going to wash some of it down to the fringes. So at least you know the fertilizer is working, but uneven coverage is not looking so great right now. So what I have to do is switch over to more of a liquid program, and the reason that I didn't do that necessarily is sometimes just for timing. It's a lot more time to get out your backpack sprayer, fill it up, put the material in there, go spray, than it is to just throw some granular into something and spread it out real quickly. But now that I'm seeing this and understanding that if we continue to have these monsoon rains, probably not going to have some great granular coverage. So this is a good thing for me to learn here and see this firsthand, but also anyone who might be dealing with slopes or areas where you feel like you're getting some runoff into another area, then that's a good time to look at liquid fertilizer and spraying it directly onto the grass, and you're not having to deal with that water moving it around, and so it's just a better option. It can be more work, but overall you'll also find that you're going to get really nice even coverage with liquids if you're spraying it correctly. And so that's what I'm gonna have to move to on these plots, which I did my first application here yesterday evening of some 16-4-8 onto these plots as well, just to try to even out this color again, and we'll see what it looks like in a few weeks. But I'm betting that middle section of being darker green is going to last for a bit as this fertilizer still breaks down. So I'm gonna have to also get myself a bigger sprayer here pretty soon too, because some of these larger plots I'm just not going to be able to walk constantly with a 4-gallon backpack. So I haven't really figured out what I'm going to use yet or what I'm going to get, but I need to be thinking about that so I can put some liquids onto these larger plots as well. Got some Ventrac stripes onto this fescue here, and I'm still dealing with a bunch of seed heads out on that ryegrass plot that I showed you in one of the previous videos. Still a lot of stalks going on in that, so hopefully that will end here very soon because I'm getting real tired of mowing those things. The other unfortunate thing about that monsoon was that I was just starting to have my annual ryegrass come up in a bunch of spots. I'm starting to see it pop, but I also noticed that I think a lot of that rain probably washed a decent amount of it as well. So after I put it down, we got a couple of nice shower rainfalls, and I thought this is perfect. It's gonna get germinated, get in there and grow before we hopefully have any other major storms. Well, that didn't exactly happen. In true typical fashion, whenever I put down grass seed, you know exactly what's gonna happen. And so I'm gonna have to evaluate this in a week or so. Hopefully there's enough there that I can at least get some of this to hold on. And we'll have to evaluate the rest of the area and see if it needs an overseed or see if what I'm gonna do about it. That is the update for now. I'll keep you posted on all this stuff. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.